Have you been practicing watching your thoughts? What are you noticing? Nothing? I guess that's good news because it means you're courageously wide open to let life pass through your heart without shutting down or closing off. My mind is a dangerous place to enter into alone. And so I've learned through the years that the more attention I pay to my thoughts, the bigger the space is between my thought and who I really am. Then I have a choice how to respond rather than react. We all react at first. It's just part of the human adventure. You know, I love in that video that they didn't make the angry wolf bad. It wasn't bad. It was acknowledged and accepted and allowed to be present as we go about feeding that wolf that brings forth the best in us, the absolute best in us. So Charles Fillmore in Atom Smashing Power of the Mind said, "So the great need of the whole human family is to know this one supreme law of God. God as spirit manifesting itself in the mind of man," and that's man, woman, child, any sentient being. "It is then necessary that we understand our own importance as God manifestations. We should understand that we are not separate nor insignificant, but the vital, important, integral parts of a mighty whole. We couldn't be whole without you, or you, or you, or you. You are important to our experience of living life wholeheartedly." So, part of what they teach you in ministerial school is to comfort the afflicted, and you know the other part, afflict the comfortable. So that's my charge every Sunday, is how do I balance that game of not afflicting, but inquiring. Could you get a little more curious about the thoughts you think? We think first, but that's not right. We don't think with our mind first. We think with our heart, and then that affects our mind. The mind is a horrific master, but a really good servant of our heart. We experience life through our heart, and then we start watching our thoughts. Now, most of our thoughts are from the past, because that's the way mind works first. So to transcend or transmute our energy beyond the personality, it takes some practice, right? So Michael Singer recommends that you sit back from the chatter, that you become the seer of the chatter, not the experience of being sucked along with the chatter. Monkey mind is very, very busy, and we all have monkey mind. It is that part of us that goes endlessly in circles trying to think its way to staying safe. It's trying to think its way to stay safe. And that's not the way through. That is not the way of transformation. That is not the way of rising up to a different level of understanding one another and understanding the world we live in and understanding the planet we're standing on. This has been an incredible week here in this sanctuary. For those of you who were here for the World Day of Prayer, I know you experienced it in deep and profound ways. And those of you who weren't, you are affected by the energy that remains in this room. For many prayers were said, many vibrations of sound happened, many hearts were touched, and many people were changed. Now, the more we practice meditation, mindfulness, sitting in the silence together, not trying to fix, control, or change anybody else, the more we can just be centered in ourselves, life gets easier. You know, one of the things I was thinking about this morning when I got up at 4 o'clock was, oh, gee, I wish I had talked to Jesse about a song, because I'd like to start with Free at Last. What did Jesse and Amy sing? And I went, well, I don't even have to ask, and the universe responds. That's how in sync we can be with one another if we're willing to just stay open-hearted. Did you like that little video at the beginning of the talk? You know, I can talk. But there's something about being visually able to see and understand a concept that watching and listening and being in community together impacts our body more. We get it integrated. I noticed that with Janine when she did her talk, and now I'm trying to raise the bar every. She will be back, you guys. But we really are on a spiritual journey of lifting consciousness. It's not a spiritual journey of being comfortable. It's not living from grace to grace. There's a journey from grace to grace. And part of that journey is getting rid of thorns that are in our fingers, our toes, in our heart, behind our ears, between our shoulder blades. You know what I mean? Those thorns that we try and protect and say, I don't have to. No. What I loved that Atika did this morning was so vulnerable. Yeah, my husband and I are experiencing some conflict. That's the fact. She didn't get into a long story about what the conflict is or try and get you to choose sides that in our human experience we often do. But she just said, hey, we're going to learn right along with you all. Everyone has periods of being in conflict. And they're usually, the root cause is something from the past that wasn't released, an emotion that's stored, an energy pattern that is blocked inside of us, so we can't move from grace to grace, from glory to glory, from praise to praise. And it limits our experience of life. Have you ever known somebody who tried to control every aspect of their life? Or was that your perception of what they were doing? The trick becomes. But when you try and control everything, and I really did for a long time, until my daughter was born, and then I realized I can't control everything. But what can I do? What are my intentions? How do I want to be a mom to this precious soul? And in asking that question, not why did this birth defect happen, but how am I going to mother this child in a way that brings out her glory and her perfection in the appearance of something less than? That important question then guided my whole life's journey. Intentions are powerful. Please, whatever you do, stop lying to yourself. Own your feelings. Own your emotions. Find a buddy that you can trust to just hold on to you while you go through those painful experiences. Because Michael Singer says, we can be free at last, we can be free at last if we allow the pain to move through our heart. Now, most of us want to know, well, how much will it hurt? I can stand this much pain, but I don't know if I want a truckload, Carla. So we start small. What's the itch? Somebody says something that just goes, well, what did that mean? Well, she just walked by me. She didn't even look me in the eye. She never spoke to me. She must hate me. Have you ever heard your mind do stuff like that? Or your mind say, you know, if you were smarter, you wouldn't have done that. If you had just taken your time and listened to the chattering mind, I could have kept you safe. But we are not our thoughts. Repeat after me. I am not my thoughts. I am not my thoughts. I am not my thoughts. So the next thought that comes in, say, that's not me. You are the seer of the thoughts. You have an opportunity to step back and transmute the energy that's blocked and transform your experience of life. Sure, there are things in life that hurt, but guess what? Most of them are from the past. They're not even here anymore. You feel any pain in your heart when I say that? It's the past that needs to get released from in our body so we can be free, joyful, unlimited, peaceful, creative expressions of a living God experience, that we can be holy and whole. Is it worth a little bit of pain? I'll walk with you. One of the things that I notice is that monkey mind never stops chattering. It's always chattering. But if I step back from the chatter and get real curious about what the heck she's rambling on about and start watching where her thoughts go, you know, we argue both sides of the case in our mind. And then we believe our mind is intuitive. Your mind is not intuitive. Your heart is intuitive. Your gut is intuitive. Your mind is a chattering, logical, linear, automatic, negative thinking machine. It's got to make meaning out of everything. So have you ever noticed when you start, somebody says to you, what's going on with you? And you start, well, I think what's happening. So we think at first instead of feeling. To start a sentence with, I feel. I feel. I feel hurt. I feel sad. I feel happy. I feel hungry. If we start with our feelings, you can't fight with that. Nobody can deny your feelings. They can, but it's not really, you know immediately that's not right. But once something gets triggered inside of us, we defend immediately. We protect ourselves. We shut down. Nobody's going to do this to me again. I'm not going to bare my soul to have somebody stamp all over my heart. And guess what happens? You don't live a joy-filled, peace-filled life full of creative expressions. You feel a closed-off experience when if just with a little bit of courage, just with a little bit of, hey, can you support me through this? Something miraculous can happen. And so the next time that you find yourself looking fear in the face, acknowledge it. Hey, here it is, false evidence appearing real. And that's all it is. And it's from the past. And it's come to be released. And it'll come again to be released. And it'll come again to be released. But the more we practice our spiritual principles, the faster we move on around our journey. There's no end to our journey until we ascend. And that's what I hope for each and every one of you, that you have an experience of ascension, of integration, of ascension, of knowing free. You can be free of this chattering mind anytime you don't get hooked by it. So if you can observe it, be curious about it. Where'd that thought come from? Have I ever felt this feeling before? Well, sure, I felt that when Mom told me, or Dad, or a teacher, or whatever, said something that denied your wholeness. A blocked energy pattern happened in your flow of life. And so when you think, well, I can't, say, yes, you can. When you say, I won't, ask yourself, but would I be willing to just take the next step forward? Would I be willing to not believe that thought? Who would I be, as Byron Katie says, without that thought? Who would I be without that thought? And then we become more willing to take the person or the circumstance or the condition that we're roasting on a spit. We're willing to say, okay, that's not who I am. That's a thought I have. I am not fear. And I will not show up as fear. I'll show up as joy. Joy's my new favoriteest word. Joy. Just open yourself. Just open yourself. So people think you're goofy. So people think, oh, that was a dumb thing to say. So people wonder why you're wearing what you're wearing, or why you're not wearing shoes, or what the heck is going on with her. We move the material world around trying to understand our inner suffering. We need to quit looking out here and come home to ourselves, to reawaken who we truly are. What values matter most to us? What's the most meaningful use of my time, my energy, my love? Does it sound like a game you'd like to play? So let's be about just opening ourselves up, just allowing ourselves to watch our thoughts and our emotions. Energy and motion, emotion. If we don't make a story about the emotion, it'll pass through our body in 90 seconds. Let's be about proving that truth, okay? So as we close this morning, I want to say, scan your body for any place where a burr might be, any place where there's tension, any place in your body where your heart feels closed off to. And just relax. Accept it. Accept it. The pain comes from resisting and denying the emotion. It's okay to feel. That's what makes us human and divine. A feeling is just that. It's not who we are. We just make the feeling mean who we are. We are so much more than our personality. We are so much more than our thoughts and our emotions and our drama. We are dreams. We can be about the complaints, or we can be about what's my contribution going to be. How now will I serve? And so let's take that thought into meditation now.
I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord, wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place place within my mind, and I will wait upon the Lord. Wait upon the Lord. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know.
And in the stillness, let us just rest, feeling fully supported, completely supported by the chair beneath us and by Mother Earth. We feel our connection deep, deep, deep into Mother Earth, and open to the involution of higher thoughts, of divine ideas, of inspiration. And we wait in the silence for the Lord of our being. I'm going to ask you now just to stay in silence, deeply listening and open to receiving what Spirit would have you hear in the silence now. Remember, this quiet place you can find anytime. You close your outer eyes and turn within. That you move from your head to your heart. That you scan your body and see where attention might be needed. And let it be.
Be still, my soul, be still. Be still, my soul, be still. Be still and know I will make a quiet place within my life, and I will wait upon the Lord. Wait upon the Lord. I will make a quiet place within my heart, and I will wait upon the Lord. Wait upon the Lord. Be Be still, my soul. Be still.
Tell yourself, be still.
Be still, my soul. Be still. Be still